All right, guys, I'm live. I got a new camera. Hopefully you can notice quite a bit of a difference here. Just kind of doing a quick stream tonight to test out the new webcam, see if that works better than my phone. I'm using the microphone on the webcam too, so we'll see if that works okay. If it doesn't, I'll look into getting a different microphone, but I think I'm already noticing it being quite a bit better than the cell phone, which is all I had up until yesterday when I got this new camera. So anyways, I just wanted to do a little bit of just a quick stream tonight and a little bit of a teaser on some short barreled AKs. So anyways, I'm going to grab one right now and show it to you. So this is a Romanian Tm 90. These are pretty cool, actually. So when you first look at this gun, it looks like it's an SBR, right? It's got the short barrel, the stock. But actually, this isn't an SBR yet. It's going to be hopefully pretty soon here. But what they did is took a fully functional stock. It's attached to the rear trunnion with the screws like it should be. But there's a little weld. See if I can get the camera to focus on that. There's a little weld right here. So this stock is welded in the permanently fixed position. So as of right now, this is just a pistol. However, I can obviously go apply for a tax stamp. Wait I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 months from what I'm hearing to get that approved. And then as soon as I get my tax stamp in hand, I can just real lightly, Dremel or grind this little weld off of here. I can tell it's actually not a very deep penetrating weld at all. It's like literally just enough to hold on there to make it a permanently inoperable stock. So this is about as easy as it gets for an SBR conversion. But yeah, this is the Romanian PM90, like I said. It's a AKM variant that actually saw, and from what I understand, still does see current military service in Romania. It's 7.62 by 39. The only thing I'm noticing right now is with this side folding stock, this is with any of the Romy side folders, it's a little bit tricky to grab that charging handle. I mean, you have to get your fingertip right there and really kind of watch out, because you see my fingers pretty much touching there. So if I were to really grab a hold of it, it's going to kind of stop me, right? You kind of come over the top and maybe just grab it with your knuckle a little bit. I mean, it's doable, but even right there, as I was holding onto the bolt, it kind of got pinched in there a little bit. So it's okay. Obviously, the point of this is to, get your tax stamp, cut the weld, and make it a functioning stock, right? Which I fully intend to do, because this gun's kind of been a dream of mine for a long time. So there's basically, a few versions of this gun. There's like the Romanian Draco, which would be this configuration minus the stock. And then you'll see they did some more Wasser side folders years ago that had the full length barrel with a functioning folding stock. And then there's been like this so-called paratrooper that's come out recently that has the combination gas front sight block, but yet it still has the 16-inch barrel. I don't know. I just kind of always thought those were kind of funny, when you've got the combination sight block, it should really just end right at the end. I mean, nothing against the ones that stick out. There's a lot of different, Bulgarian arsenal rifles that do that. And those are okay. But this is what I really like. This nice little stubby configuration, portable. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about this. It's pretty cool as it is, but it's going to be really cool when I get approved for a tax stamp and I can make this stock functional. Anyways, let's see who's in here tonight. Mel64D, what's up? Matteo 674, how's it going, man? And Warsaw Patriot. Oh, just so you guys know, Warsaw put out a pretty neat video the other day. I think it was yesterday, with that it's a Polish DVD that was filmed in Poland, I believe, and narrated in Polish, and it's explaining how the Poles took part in the Yugoslavian conflict, like the Balkan Wars. If I get something wrong, let me know, Warsaw, but you guys should go over and check that video out that he did. It looks interesting. But the problem is I think he bought the only copy in existence on Amazon, so good luck finding it. We're just going to have him share with us, I guess. Armed Ape, how's it going, man? I'm not going to forget you. You're just down there a little bit in the comments. Okay, Mel says the pick looks a little better. Matteo, yep. Okay, cool, guys. I'm hoping it's at least doable for now. Mel brought up the undo the 2 screws and, yep. Actually, what you could do, too, that'd be totally legal right now, is I could undo these 2 screws, and I could put one of the AKM adapters for a SIG brace. So I could run a SIG brace off of this right now. And that would also be perfectly legit. That'd be another option, too. So, or if I, get the tax stamp, I could just put a regular AKM fixed stock. Because that's the cool thing about these Romanian folders. They utilize the same type trunnion as the East Germans did, where you can just take the folder right out along with its folding components and affix a fixed stock instantly. That whole concept's actually something the Germans came up with, and then the Romanians picked up after that. So there's a few options with this little gun. Of course, right now with this being a pistol, it doesn't have to comply with 922R. I mean, since we're on the internet, I'll just say so, but I don't know who really even worries about that, to be honest, unless you're an importer or like a, FFL. I don't really even know who even cares about that, to be honest, guys. But officially, many people would say this needs to be 922R compliant when the stock becomes functional. Mel recommended a Galil carrier. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, if I was going to keep it like this forever with this permanently fixed stock, probably that'd be a good idea. But I'm just going to kind of keep it authentic because I'm going to make this functional soon, and then it'll all be a moot point with the charging handle clearance. And right now, this gun has mostly Romanian parts on it. So I'm going to try to keep it as legit as I can just to make it more, I don't know. I kind of like the history and the nuances, so I like to keep them as close as I can to the country of origin. Let's see here. Warsaw Patriot, are you interested in the movie? Yeah, I guess I answered that before I even read your question. I am kind of interested, actually. I've kind of been studying the Balkan War and the whole Yugoslavia as it kind of came and went and evolved over the years. I've been kind of interested in that topic for a while. Okay, so Mr. FNH, how's it going, man? Glad to see you here too. Anyone who's I want to give a couple quick shout outs, by the way, too. There's some really good gun channels right now in the chat. So Mel64D, he has a really good channel. Some shooting and whatnot, but it's kind of centered around building. Really good build videos in his channel. Mr. FNH also has a good channel. So if you're not subbed to him, you should go head over there and look at his channel. He's not really a builder like Mel, but he's got a lot of cool content. He goes beyond just the AK and does different handguns and different things like that. So, and I know, Mel, you're not just an AK guy, okay? I know that, but that's kind of what your channel's centered around. So you get that whole pigeonhole thing, I guess, whether you want it or not. Anyways, Armed Ape, I guess you missed the very beginning. So what this is this is a Romanian PM90. And this is a clone of a formerly used, and like I said, from what I understand, currently used Romanian little short barrel gun here. So when you first look at this gun, it looks like an SBR, right? But what I was explaining earlier is this side folding stock is actually tack welded. Right there. There's a little weld. And that makes it where the stock, according to the ATF, is inoperable, right? So right now, this is all. And then upon approval of a tax stamp that I'm going to be applying for soon, I'm going to be able to unfold this stock and turn this into a legit PM90. So that's what we're looking at here is the Romanian PM90. Let's see what else you guys are saying here. Warsaw says there's one video left. I'll have to check that out. You're not supposed to say that in the public chat. Someone's gonna snatch it up before I can buy it. That's where the private messenger's for. Like, here's the thing. I'm nobody, right? But since I'm doing the stream, just give me like a little bit of red carpet and say, hey, Glock, on the side here, here's the DVD, but I'm not going to let everyone else know, okay? Armed Apes asking, is that the same stamp for a Class 3? Yeah, I think the better way to word it is, see, Class 3 is more of a classification of FFL, but I think I know what you mean. You mean like an NFA regulated firearm? Yep. So it's the same type of tax stamp that you get, $200. Same thing as a suppressor, a machine gun, and an SBR or an SBS, short barrel shotgun. Those are all $200. There's another one you can get called an AOW, and we can talk about that later. I was actually thinking about doing a stream here soon, talking about some of these interesting variations, like some of the little nuances you can do to these pistols and quote unquote firearms to turn them into any other weapon, which is actually a $5 tax stamp. So there's some pretty cool little tricks you can do with that. I don't really want to say tricks. It's stuff the law allows for. It's just like a little bit of a different thing, you know. And then, you know, in the National Firearms Act covers things like destructive devices. Generally, anything over a 50 caliber is considered a destructive device. 12 gauge shotguns, 10 gauge shotguns, those were given an exemption under the sporting purposes. But anyways, I'm kind of getting off on an NFA tangent, which is a really interesting topic, and I could probably talk about it with you guys for about an hour. So we'll pick that up as another topic. But yeah, there's a lot of cool NFA stuff. Let's see here. Oh, Armed Ape. So Mel answered that correctly. No, one stamp for each and every item. Like, you can, in theory, have a 3-stamp gun, I know for sure. I know there's a scenario where, let's just say you have a fully automatic MP5 with a suppressor. So you're going to have a tax stamp for it being an SBR, another for it being a machine gun. In the case of the MP5, it could just be a transferable sear, right? Some of them are registered as a fully transferable auto sear, or a sear pack in this case. It's actually a trigger pack with the HKs. But anyways, or it could have been the receiver. And then the third one would have been for the suppressor. So you would actually, once you affix that suppressor, that's called a 3-stamp gun. And that's going to be about $600 in stamps. The gun itself is going to cost a fortune. And then that machine gun sear pack, that's a fortune. Those registered pre-86 transferable HK sear packs, maybe someone in the chat could give me a guess, but last time I saw one sell, it was about 3,000, somewhere just a little south of 25 grand. I don't know if that's a fluke or I don't know if that's what they're worth or what, but yeah. Time to sell your house if you want a transferable HK. Because the cool thing about the HKs is there's a bunch of guns that'll take that same trigger pack. So you just pull this little pack out. It's a bunch of pre-assembled trigger components that are all pinned together. And you can put that in a whole number of guns. So that's kind of a cheap way to get a whole bunch of machine guns, because the sear pack itself is registered. So you can move it from gun to gun within the HK line. So that's pretty cool. Let's see here. Where's that Patriot? I want an HK36C. If you're interested in that gun, go over to the Mishiko channel. He's done a couple good videos about that, a couple in the past, and one real recently in like the last 2 weeks. He's got a really, really legit clone, like a really legit semi-auto. But with all that said, it's cool for collectors, but I think the HKG36 is probably the worst gun they've ever made. Like, literally troops like losing them and purposely trying to mess them up just so they can get something different. That's the stories I've read. So I don't know about the G36, but as a collector, it's really, really cool to have one. Yeah, Armed Ape. Yep, Matt answered you. That's correct. Yep. If you wanted that particular MP5 I talked about, 3 tax stamps. But if you own a true legit transferable MP5, you're probably rich enough where the $200 is just like the, I don't know, pop bottle deposit. For you guys that aren't in Michigan, any bottle of pop or beer, basic carbonated beverages, we pay 10 cents for each can or bottle. It's a deposit. And if you want to get that 10 cents back, you can return it to the grocery store and get your 10 cents. But most people just throw them away. But that's kind of how it would be for a guy that's playing the NFA game, because those machine guns are just crazy. Kind of a rich man's hobby, unfortunately. Let's see here. Mouse shot a full auto G36. That's cool. That'd be really cool. Any machine gun's awesome. Did it jam on you, Mel? That's my question there. Now let's see here if I missed anything else. Yeah, Matteo earlier was talking about the good old destructive device. I kind of went through that really briefly, but there's a lot of things that I could talk about with that. Whereas, I'm not trying to encroach on Zeke's live stream. I saw he had it going a little while ago. It ended, and then apparently in the meantime he started it up again. So I'm sorry, Zeke. I'm not trying to compete with your live stream. I'm just really antsy to, try out this new camera and just see if it's a little better for you guys. Because I know I did that one with those German handguns and the CZs the other day, and I realized afterwards, kind of watching it, you guys couldn't really even see any of the markings, and I assume you guys don't want to watch that, and I'd like to have something a little better too. So this is what I've got right now, and maybe I can get something a little better going later, I'm not sure about this microphone, by the way. Is the microphone okay? Am I talking loud enough? This is the built-in microphone with the webcam. Yeah, thanks, Mel. I'm glad you like it a little better. I don't know. I was just trying to get out there, guys, and just see. I thought I would do a live stream, to be honest, when I first did it, and like nobody would watch it, or maybe like one person. And then the fact that I actually had like 10, 12 people in there, I realized, well, maybe you guys wouldn't mind actually taking part. As long as someone's watching it, I'd rather you guys actually be able to see something. So I bought this webcam. And right now, that's kind of my max budget on cameras, but because this is like kind of a decent webcam. I didn't buy like the $20 one. I spent a little bit on it, so hopefully it's okay. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll keep doing it for a few minutes. I wasn't going to stay on all night anyways. Tonight's Sunday, and yeah. Now, I'd say Misha number one. I'd be like a close 50th behind him, but yeah. I like to talk about these guns and, kind of give the history. And here's the deal with me, guys. I'm not the biggest shooter up guy. I like to shoot. I fired tens of thousands of rounds in my life, but as of right now, I'm not really looking to do a lot of videos of me just firing a whole bunch of rounds. There's a lot of guys that do that. They're really good at that. I just kind of like to talk about these guns and kind of show them to you guys. And, I just throw a little trivia out to you guys, just little facts. If there's something that rings a bell and you want to talk about it, we can talk about it, If you want to look at the, the PM90, different wars that it served in, police that use it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you guys know about these guns that I don't. So you guys throw something in there and in the chat and we'll talk about it. I know it makes it where it's not as good to watch later, but I kind of like interacting with the chat because this is just me hanging out with you guys. And not really looking to accomplish a whole lot with my channel. I work full time, and this is just something I'm kind of doing for fun, just a way to talk to some pretty cool guys, Armed 8. Misha has a seriously cool collection. Yeah, I know. He has a seriously cool collection. And speaking of Misha, I'm gonna show you guys another little look at a short-barreled AK that I bought from Misha. Because as you know, he owns a gun shop. There's a fine line with YouTube's rules about talking about selling guns and stuff. So I don't know how much I should talk about that, just because of YouTube rules. Not because of anything secret about it, but let's just say Misha has a nice gun store and gun broker, and there's always some really cool weapons. And then with me kind of being buddies of his, we email each other and once in a while talk on the phone and whatnot. I'll kind of give him a list of stuff I'm looking for, and if he gets something, he'll kind of give me the little inside scoop. So this next gun I'm about to grab is one that I've wanted for a long time, this particular version of it anyways. And I asked Misha what he could do for me. He did some videos on his, okay? And I said, I want one. I have a couple other versions of it, but I want that exact version. And he came through for me probably about 6 months ago. So give me 1 second. I'm going to grab that short barrel to AK, if you will. Okay, Mel guessed the Red Ryder BB gun. Nope. Good guess. You know what? If you guys are AK guys, someone should get this in the next, like, a couple seconds. If I just show you guys the butt stock. I'm literally just going to show you the stock. And then see if someone can tell me what I have. And Mel got it right away. Okay, this is the AMD 65. Okay, I'm getting used to this lens. I got to back up a little bit. So the AMD 65 is a Hungarian gun, obviously. And these guns saw a lot of military service, and actually still do. The Hungarians don't make AKs anymore. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, these guns are still actually being used by the Hungarian army right now. So obviously this gun's kind of unique compared to most variants. It's got that lower handguard that's just a stamped sheet metal. Pretty good for cooling though, really. And then it has the foregrip that's built in. Gray polymer. Mine are a little on the gray side. Some of them are like a real dark gray, almost black. But yeah, they're basically the same exact grip, by the way. The front grip's just the rear grip, just reversed, just turned around, literally. The parts interchange. So if you buy a set of these grips, you can put whatever one wherever you want. Just flip it around. You'll even see the front one has the little notch in it. A little cutout there for the trigger guard. I think you can see that. Yep. So they're literally the same grip, which is kind of cool. So anyways, I have another one of these that has the wood grips on it, actually, which are pretty cool. I like them both. That's why I have one of each example. But my other one was an original FEG receiver. Original FEG. By the way, FEG is the factory that made these guns in Hungary, for whoever's wondering. Anyways, it had an original FEG receiver. It had an FEG parts kit, but it had a USA-made 16-inch barrel. So the 16-inch barrel came out to about here, and then the muzzle brake came, you know, another 2 inches past that. Which, as you guys already probably know, that's not the real deal. These are supposed to be SBRs. So what this gun is one of the Tennessee Guns imports. And Misha did a couple videos about this, including a review of the gun, and then another one about like the intricacies of the importing of it. And again, you can watch his channel and get some more info on that. But I'll give you guys like the 1 minute version. Basically, this gun only has like a, I believe it's a 12 or 12.5 inch barrel, maybe 13, one of those, which would normally end right here at the front of the front sight, be threaded just a little bit beyond, right? So, and then the muzzle brake. Well, this gun ends up being like literally just a, I think it's a 13.5 inch barrel. I'm sorry, guys, 13.5. So it ends up just 1.5 inches short. So what this has is one of the extended muzzle brakes, right? So it's a muzzle brake, and it just has a couple extra pieces, about 1 inch, 1.5 inches of barrel extension on it. So that, and this is pinned and welded onto the barrel. You can see that weld there. So again, kind of like that side folding stock, when you pin and weld a muzzle device, it becomes part of the barrel. So now this barrel meets 16 inches by ATF definition, and it's not an SBR. But the whole reason for all this is this also has the original FEG Hungarian barrel, okay? So it's got the chrome line, cold hammer forged barrel. And Misha does a really good job in his video explaining this, but these were imported in an interesting way. Possibly as pistols, possibly as barreled actions, probably one of those two, and not necessarily the whole gun when they were imported, because as configured, this would be an assault weapon by legal standards for importing, and that'd be the, you know, the 89 Bush 41 ban. So these guns must have come in a little different way, and then Tennessee Guns put the features on them, like the pistol grip, the folding stock, things like that. Because this gun literally is like 100%, virtually 100% Hungarian. It has a Tapco G2 trigger group. That's 3 parts for 922R. And I believe they were brought into the country again with no magazine. And even left TGI with no magazine, is my point. So, yeah, that would be the no more than 10 foreign parts if you put an American magazine in here and the 3 trigger group parts. And I know this looks exactly like a genuine Hungarian 20-round tanker mag. And yes, it's got the man on the moon spine marking on it. But I assure you this is a USA mag, just so, you know, just for video reasons. This is a USA mag, even though it looks like it's a Hungarian mag, right? Let's see here what you guys have to say about this gun. You guys are going to love it or hate it because there's not a lot of in-between for these. I love them, by the way. I think they're so weird and ugly looking. They're actually beautiful. So I'm a pretty big fan, I'll say that. Okay, let's see here. Okay, Armed Ape, you're not a big fan of it. That's cool. Like I said, it goes either way. I know a lot of people don't like this, but I kind of do. It's kind of grown on me over the years, and I am kind of digging this gun. Let's see here. Warsaw Patriot. In the movie Rocky III, the Russian uses that rifle and shoots everywhere at his Soviet comrades. Yep. Yeah, these guns have been in some movies, and they've been all over the place. I mean, it's a pretty tight little gun. I mean, tight package, fold the stock, and it gets down there pretty small. And the cool thing about this Tennessee Guns import is I'm literally only adding a little over 1 inch to this total length, and this is not an SBR. So in this case, this isn't one that I'm gonna take this off just to get it 1 inch shorter. It's just not worth it to me. I think I'm going to keep this gun just like it is. But yeah, let's see if it'll get the markings here. I put a light above. Okay. Ooh, wow, look at that. Okay, so this is an original FEG marked receiver. Darn autofocus. Anyways, you guys get the point. You can see the little marking right there. So yeah, this gun's literally about as close as you can get to a true import gun. I mean, the receiver was made in Hungary. The barrel's made in Hungary. The muzzle device is an extended one-piece part, but that actually doesn't really count anyways for 922R because this is not a removable part. So muzzle device only counts on the point system against you if you're using a removable foreign muzzle device. So, but yeah, matching parts kit. And I don't know if he's going to watch this video, but if you are, thanks again, Misha, because he knew I wanted one of these, and I wanted specifically this exact import because it's really kind of a one of a kind. So, and I'm not saying one of a kind like I'm bragging, like these are worth like a fortune or anything. They've gone up quite a bit, but I think one of these can probably still be had for maybe $800 or so on 7. Probably 700, maybe closer to 8 by the time you factor in your shipping. And a lot of people on Gunbroker charge like your credit card fee if you pay that way. So we'll say maybe 700, max of $800 or so for one of these. When they first came out though, they were cheap. I mean, these were like $300 something. And even up until maybe 4 years ago or so, 4 or 5 years ago, you could still pick these up at center fire systems for around $400. So a lot's changed there. And there's also an interesting piece of history too. If you look up Tennessee guns, they're no more. And the owner actually became a felon. I have to refresh my memory. I can't remember if he did prison time or was facing prison time, but yeah, he's actually a felon now and had to close down his, lost his importer's license, obviously. And from what I understand, he can't even touch a gun now. And Tennessee Guns imported a lot of guns over the years. Something with him not doing his imports right. Something with, I don't know exactly. But let's just say he broke the law with his firearms importation business. Let's see here. Armed Abe, you do like the break though. Yeah, the break's pretty interesting. I mean, it's, again, everything about this rifle, you're going to really like it or really hate it. Some people hate the break but like the gun. Other people, you know, hate the gun but like the break. I mean, it's just, I guess, kind of an acquired taste, right? It's an effective break, though. I will say that. If you're just worried about overall muzzle rise and keeping your follow-up shots on target, very, very effective piece here. So, nothing wrong with this break as far as shooting goes. Warsaw Patriot. Yeah, when I'm done with the stream here, I'll go on Amazon and look for it. I know Amazon can get sometimes. I've looked at different books because I'm kind of into collecting gun books, and I look for a lot of these different out-of-print Milcert books, let's just say, like different Kalashnikov books and CZ pistol books, stuff like that. And sometimes you'll see one that's out of print, and especially after Ian from Forgotten Weapons does a book review on it, everyone runs to Amazon. It instantly sells out. And then you'll see like the people, the independent sellers on Amazon that have the last 2 copies, it'll instantly go from like a $13 book up to like $300 or something, because they know they have the last 2 that, you know, are on there. So hopefully the DVD didn't do that. Demons of War Polish movie. Yep, I'll type that in a minute. And then I'm just going to show you guys a little bit on one more of these short-barreled AKs real quick. Let me grab that. Okay. So this rifle is another NFA workaround, if you will. Again, nothing shady, just manufacturing a gun according to what the laws say, right? But it's still kind of an NFA workaround because it's a little bit of an unconventional setup here. See if anyone knows what this is. Now look at the magazine, because that's what you need to focus on. That's gonna kind of give you an idea when you look at the shape of the mag. And I think its country of origin should be kind of obvious. Okay, let's see here. Yep, so Warsaw said a 5.56, and then Roy. How's it going, Roy? Glad to see you. Yep, it's an M85. So this is a Yugo M85, right? And this is another one that's almost an SBR, but the way it's configured, not quite. So the original M85 is basically looks like this. It's got a folding stock underfolder, which is fully functional on this one. So that's what makes this really stiff, though. Holy crap. Okay. This is like a, an unissued parts kit's what this was built from. So this literally has no break-in at all. And everything's like 10 times hard to do on camera, right? I swear I'm not that weak, guys. It was just kind of awkward. Anyways, so it's got a functional folding stock. And the barrel normally stops right about right here. So what this has on it is an extended booster. And you can look closely. I think the camera's actually picking it up. You can see a line here and a line here where they literally cut the booster. So if you took the top portion of this and then this portion that's, you know, before the first line and after the second line, right? Squeeze those together, and that's the length of the actual issued booster. So what they did is they just welded or brazed a piece in between to make it a long muzzle device. Again, penned and welded. See if I can get on that weld there. They actually did such a good job welding this, you can't even really see it, but it's right under there. And this has a blind pen and a weld, which meets the government's regulation for a permanent attached muzzle device, just like that AMD. And yeah, so right now this is just a regular firearm, no special tax stamp or paperwork, just a normal transferable firearm. But if I want to bring it back to its original configuration, this is going to be real similar to just the M90 that I showed earlier, the PM90 rather. I'm just going to go in there, grind off this weld carefully, and then normally it exposes just enough of the head of the pen where you can get in there with some really small, like needle nose or forceps, kind of work its way out. I've had pens literally where you break the weld and just tip the gun upside down, hit it, and it falls out. So, yeah. So this barrel is fully functional. The threads are still going to be good under there. And then I don't have it right with me to show you guys, but I bought an original booster that's, like I said, the shrunk down version of this that I can put back on there. So yeah, this is kind of, you know, in a way, a little bit similar to that PM90, just a little different version. Still got the combination front sight and gas block. Under folder stock. You know. Well, that looks pretty cool. Looks like I'm shooting like a 37 millimeter, right? Because all you can see is the opening of that booster. But yeah, it's got some of the cool Yugo features on it too, like the front sight. Flips up, and it goes from just the regular post to the tritium. So it's got the flip up tritium sight for night shooting. Rear sight flips up and down for elevation. So you've got 200 meters. Flip it down, it goes up to 400 meters. So this has two, you know, pre-configured distances. 200, flip, 400. And with the length of the barrel, I think they were being realistic to realize 400 is a little bit of a stretch anyways, right? But yeah, this rear sight has tritium in it also, as well as the little groove like we're used to on the other AKs. You guys can kind of actually see that sight picture a little bit against that white wall. I think this camera is quite a bit better than the phone. I'm realizing this as I go on. But yeah, it has the bulbs, the RPK type front trunnion, if you will, which kind of to me seems a little overkill for a 5.56 AK, right? But it's still nice. Original Yugoslavian grip there. And then this is an original Yugo M85 slash M90 slash M95. The M90 was like a USA import. And then the Yugos had the M95, which is the rifle version of this gun, the full-length barrel. And then the M85, which is this, the SBR version. But they all take the same mag. And these right here are a score, just so you guys know. Our guns actually has these still. And these are, if you guys have any of these 5.56 AKs, and these are like brand new old stock. Like I literally took it out of the waxed paper that was covered in Cosmoline and grease. I thoroughly, cleaned it all off. But yeah, these are a pretty good find, I think. I think once our guns runs out of their supply, you're going to find this type of mag is going to jump up because, I mean, this is a legit Block mag. Yugoslavian, brand new old stock surplus. So yeah, if anyone's got one of these guns, go up to the go check our guns out. I think they're maybe 40 bucks, which isn't bad because if you look at those clear translucent green mags that they sell, the famous FB Radom green mags that Arms of America has and whatnot, those I think are around 35, 36 bucks. And those are cool, but this is the real deal if you want to put it in your Yugo. So I'd grab a couple of these if I were you guys. Oh, let's see here. Mr. F&H will be back. Warsaw, you wish AK-74Us were legal. Okay, with no welded barrels or stocks. Yeah, because they're legal. I mean, this right here could be an AK-74U as far as this goes with the barrel extension on it. And by the way, I think I know what you mean. They are legal, period. You can get an SBR AK-74U. You just have to fill out the proper paperwork and get an approved tax stamp first. Oh, hey, Zeke, what's up? I'm sorry if my stream overlapped yours. I was really wanting to try this camera out. I went on. I saw you were on, like, for a bit. And then it said your stream ended, so I started mine up just to kind of, like I said, see how good this camera works. And then a couple of the guys were telling me you were back on again, so I'm sorry. I thought you were done. But I'm glad to see you here. And like I was telling you earlier, guys, about some other people's channels, I think all of you are, but if you're not, make sure you're a subscriber of Zeke Shoots. Go check his channel out. He has a lot of content. And you're going to have to actually look for him on a lot of other platforms. Like I know he's on Full 30. I think he's on Utah Gun Exchange. I know he's on ProveIt.video, which I'm on there too. Because a lot of his build videos he had to take off of YouTube. So if you guys are wondering why you don't see all the Zeke Shoots build videos, go check out some of his other the other websites that he's using, because those websites just are like too dangerous, right, to have on YouTube. And as I just said, Zeke also does streams, which I'm a guest of sometimes. So go check those out too. All right, let's see here in the comments what's going on. Yeah, Zeke said boo, he's scaring people. One of the audience members said they actually are scared. Let's see here. Oh, Matteo, you were away. So this isn't an actual suppressor. I explained it earlier. You can see the little line here and the little line down here. In front of the line and behind the line, smushed together, was the original booster. So what they did is they just welded in an extension piece to make the booster become about, let's just say, 9 inches long. So this barrel would be 16 inches and keep it from being an NFA item. But just like the PM90, there's a little blind pen and spot weld here, where upon approval and a tax stamp, you know, I could just cut this, remove the pen, and then have a real deal shortened M85. So yeah. But it kind of does make it look like a silencer, though, the way they did it, which I thought was pretty cool. And another thing too with these boosters, if you guys have seen those are those just are what they are. It's a booster. It's not really a muzzle brake, okay? Not really a flash hider. What it's for is if you have an AK with a short gas system, or I'm sorry, a short barrel, the bullet doesn't have enough dwell time, is what it's called, to actually fully burn all of its powder in some cases and really get all that pressure going down the barrel. So it's gonna fire at, let's just say, I don't know the exact math, but a significant less pressure, right? So that gas pressure may not be enough to completely and reliably cycle the action, especially in like adverse conditions. If you've got snow or ice or mud, you know, in your action. So what they do is they put what's called a booster on here. It's like a resonation chamber. So it gets a little bit bigger where the gas can build up, but then the hole is small where it exits. So it makes a little bit of back pressure. I'm not a big car guy, but some guys, you know, will put like a straight pipe on their vehicle, right? And it'll lose back pressure and they'll actually lose horsepower. So then they have to come back and put a restriction in there somewhere so it can put a little pressure back on the engine, right? As this is probably an exhaust and give it its power back. So that's kind of what this is in a way. Especially, you know, the 5.56, that's, I guess if you wanted to call it that, a little bit weaker round than the 7.62 by 39. And then the main thing though is the short barrel. Having that, I'm trying to remember exactly how long this barrel is, but it's obviously at least, let's just say, 6-7 inches shorter. This barrel might be about 10 inches long. But yeah, this has got nice brand new Yugoslavian unissued wood on it. These are all what you call virgin unissued parts, by the way. So I'll show you guys something else that's kind of neat. These are real Zastava Serbia, or otherwise known as former Yugoslavia parts. But if you look, there's not going to be any markings on the trunnion. There's the carrier. And I'll just open it up for you guys. This is a kind of a crank style dust cover, right? So it hinges and doesn't fully remove. You'll look at the spring, doesn't have the serial numbers. See, that's what I'm talking about. See how the gas piston, it's only a little shorter, but it's got like this little spur on here. And I suspect that's for it to grab a little more gas without bleeding out. But yeah, it's pretty, kind of a little bit different looking piston, right? It looks like a little like spur gear, like you'd see on the, like a motorcycle sprocket, right? And then if you look at the back, it's got a hollow face to it instead of the dome like we're used to. Normally the tops of these look like a, you know, an automobile piston on the top with a dome on the top, or a dish, I guess I should say. But this is hollow. Anyways, there's no serial number on the carrier. That's why I took it apart to show you guys. And no serial number on the bolt. But don't mistake these. That does not mean these are generic parts. These are actually genuine Yugo parts. And I found with some RPK parts I bought before too, some M72s, Yugoslavia kind of still had quite a few parts right after the fall of the Yugoslavian country and the Balkan Wars and all that. And the country's kind of all split up and stuff. So they ended up with a lot of extra new old stock parts. I've noticed some of these have now been able to be imported recently to assemble guns like this in the USA. So yeah, these are what you call unissued virgin parts, meaning obviously they weren't issued to a soldier, but they actually never made their way onto a firearm. So this parts kit, unlike most of them we buy, was not a machine gun that had the receiver cut, right, and the barrel cut off. That's how we get most of our parts kits. This was never actually built into a gun overseas. So these are parts, you know, obviously they build all the parts, they make them all, forge them all, machine them all, and they put the serial numbers on them when they get assigned to a certain gun and get put into a regular logbook. These parts never made it that far. So some of these virgin unissued parts kits were sent here to the US and I'll put together. This particular one, I'm trying to remember here. Velocity Firearms of Duluth, Minnesota are the ones that actually assembled this gun. And the receiver, I think, is a Nodak Spud. Yes. This is a Nodak Spud, which they're also in Minnesota. So they're probably doing business with each other, you know, locally there. But yeah, this is a little bit of change of pace from the James River stuff that you guys have been seeing and the, you know, a lot of the Atlantic stuff that's out. I did actually buy this from Atlantic, but this is not an Atlantic assembled gun. But yeah, a little fuller. Another thing that's cool too, and I made this comment before about the Morrissey receivers. This does not have a Morrissey receiver, which I'm actually kind of happy. If you notice, there are no selector markings on this gun. And if I had to pick, I'd rather have the authentic ones, right? But this is my second choice. I can't stand the S and F on here. So this still gives me the chance to acid etch the correct selector marks on my own. And yeah, so even though this is a Nodak, I still like it a little bit better than those S and F Morrissey receivers, which I kind of hate. I don't hate the receivers, guys. The receivers are okay. I just hate the fact that they have the S and F. Like, that's literally starting to be a deal breaker for me nowadays. But yeah, anyways, yeah, you go M85. Again, when I get some time here, when I slow down for the winter, this will be another one that's going to be getting a tax stamp. So this and the PM90 are hopefully going to be SBRs here within the next year. Let's see here in the chat. See here, Mel has 2 of the mags. Yeah. Let me ask you, Mel, if you're still here, do you use them in any other 5.56 AKs, or do you have one of these M85s? Because there's a pistol version of this too that was made for export, along with the M92s and then the NPAPs and the OPAPs. So there is a pistol, like I said, the pistol M85 was a made for export gun in the modern day Serbia. This gun's a little different. This is not just one of those M85s that were made for export with a stock on it. This is built from the ground up with a virgin parts kit. Let's see here. Zeke, oh, you're still technically on. It's just a chat stream. Well, you guys can chat over there too. Again, I wasn't trying to encroach. I thought I saw your stream end. I hope I was correct that it did at least end. Anyways, whatever. I got mixed up. Okay, Mel had a project. He's gonna Machinist 74 trying to accept them. It never happened. Yeah, I'm not sure how that would work. I'm not really a machinist guy, but yeah, works good in this gun. And I'm not normally a 5.56 AK guy, to be honest with you. But if it's the correct caliber for the gun, then I like it. Because as I keep saying over and over again, I'm kind of a history guy, and I like them to be historically accurate. So the M85 in military service was chambered in 5.56, so I like it. Same thing with the M95 rifle, 5.56. Poland has the beryllium, and that has that's chambered in 5.56. Germany actually made an export gun for just a few years there. Not export to the United States, but export to other countries' militaries that was 5.56. I'm trying to think of who else used a 5.56 AK. The German one's actually pretty interesting because what happened is Germany was making the AK and then the AKM variants, right? The milled and then the stamped under license from Russia. And then the AK-74 come out. And something happened with that where I don't know if it was the royalties or what, but something wasn't quite on the up and up for that. So what Russia said is you can make the AK-74s, the 5.45 variant. So that'd be like the MPI -74 I believe, right? So that one was okay for them to make for their own army, but they weren't allowed to make them and sell them. So what they did is they came out with another model. I'm trying to remember what it's called now. Maybe like the 941 or something. But anyways, it was a German AK-74, but it was chambered in 5.56, and that allowed them to get on that agreement that Russia had that was blocking them, right? So yeah, that's kind of a little known fact that there were some that were exported to other countries' militaries. As far as German guns go, German AKs, from what I understand, none were ever exported to the U.S. So the only thing that we get is a few of them that were imported before the barrel ban, which are very, very rare. And then after the barrel ban, some more have come over, including in the last year or so. I saw a few have come in, like to Arms of America. A lot of the scrubbed kits came in, but there is no such thing as a pre-ban or a factory German gun available to the United States. Now let's see here. Zeke, STG 941. Yep, exactly. Yep. Okay, I was right on the 941. Okay, Zeke's going to do another North Korean clone. He's going to go with a Chinese bolt carrier and Hungarian trunnion. What are you going to do with the sights? I'm curious about that because last time I was hoping you would have used the 800-meter sights. So yeah, I'm curious to see. But I saw a picture of it, guys, a sneak preview picture of it, and I think he did a pretty good job with the furniture. I saw a picture of the handguards, and yeah. I don't know if he's made it available to the public yet, but when you guys see the handguards, I think you'll like them. I did, anyways. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys one more quick thing that's not really AK related. Then I'm going to get off here in a couple minutes. Okay, so I'm using my webcam, which is better than the phone, but I'm still using it within like just the basic YouTube live stream, guys. I'm kind of trying to figure out how to use the Hangouts where I can add music and stuff. I still don't know how to do that, so I'll be figuring that out a little bit as time goes on. But I got to run and grab something else real quick. I wanted to show you guys, so if you can just chill for like 5 minutes without any music or anything, I'll be right back. All right, guys. Hopefully everyone didn't leave. Actually, nobody left. Thanks, guys. I got 7 people watching, 3 thumbs up. If I could get a couple more, I think, and someone will have to tell me how this works eventually, but I think like if you guys give it a few more thumbs up, it might populate a little higher in the searches. And that's not really that important to me, other than maybe there's some other AK guys that might run across these videos, and com block guys. I'm kind of talking about the AK again tonight, but as I did the other night, I also want to talk about a bunch of different military stuff on this channel. So maybe some other milsurp gun guys and kind of gun history guys will find it if you give it a couple more thumbs up. So I think that's how it works anyways. All right. Yeah, Zeke, later on, if you could text me or call me someday here soon, I want to find out what software you're using, because I kind of like your new platform, and I don't want to set it up the way you do, but I'm just kind of looking for something right now. Or if anyone else out there knows of a good software that I can use, where I can add in like maybe a little music for a minute, where I can, I know with Hangouts I can share my screen. Sometimes I'd like to share my screen with you guys to show you guys some different things I'm looking at online. Okay, let's see. Let me see what you guys were saying. Way up here, Matteo said 5.56 isn't weaker. I don't know. I tried to use the tone of voice. Like when I said weaker, I was kind of saying like, eh. I know it's not weaker per se. And most of you guys probably know more about ballistics than I do, to be honest. I guess it just seems like, you know, just recoil-wise, right? The 7.62 by 39 gives a little more punch than a 5.56. So I'm assuming that's why on some of like the sub-caliber guns, if you will, the lower than 7.62 by 39 calibers, why they use those boosters to help cycle the action with a short barrel. So I'm sorry, guys. I never want to misinform. I don't know if weaker is the word, but let's just say the 5.56 probably doesn't maybe push as much gas back. Maybe it's due to the smaller barrel. I'm not sure why. I just know, you know, on the 5.56 AK, that booster does help the action cycle reliably. Mel's going to bed. Yeah, I'm gonna get off in just like 5 minutes here. So, good night, Mel. Thanks for stopping in. I like to see you here, man. Let's see here. Mario, what have you missed? Still looking for a virgin? Jeez, that's hard to find nowadays, dude. Oh, a Virgin 357 cylinder. Okay, okay. I just saw that you're looking for a Virgin. I was like, good luck with that, dude. One that's of age, of course, obviously. I don't know if there are any virgins that are 18 anymore, except for Brett Kavanaugh. Brett Kavanaugh was a virgin for years after high school, if you guys watch those hearings. After college, I'm sorry. He was still a virgin years after college. Let's see here. Yeah, he sure was. Oh my gosh, guys. I don't want to stay on home like it's Sunday, but if we start talking about the Kavanaugh hearing, I could go on for an hour just in and of itself. I will say one quick thing about it, though. I'm normally not a Susan Collins fan. She's the moderate senator from Maine who's technically a Republican, but sides with the Democrats way more often than she should, okay? She's pro-choice. I'm not. I'm pro-life. So I don't agree with her on nearly everything, right? But if you guys get a chance to watch her Susan Collins Senate floor speech, if you want to, like, you know, listen to it sometime when you're driving, when she was saying that she was going to support Kavanaugh the day before the vote, when they were debating, you know, after McConnell invoked cloture. That's actually like an epic speech, guys. If you listen to the way Susan Collins, she was able to take this huge catastrophe of a nomination that's probably one of the worst things that any of us have seen in our lifetime with the Senate. And she was somehow able to, like, and she's not a lawyer, keep in mind. She was able to, like, perfectly, eloquently, she was completely educated on everything she said. She'd done her homework, and she was able to package all this chaos we've been having for the last month and a half or whatever it's been into, like, the perfect hour speech. And I really think her speech was enough to get Jeff Snowflake and Joe Democrat Manchin from West Virginia to come over. And I don't think we realized how close this vote really was. It looks like we won by a couple votes. I say we because I'm a Republican, but I'm not truly a Republican. I'm more just like a conservative guy, pro-Constitution guy. But I vote Republican because they're closer to represent my interests than the Democrats, right? So, yeah, I think Susan Collins' speech literally is going to go down to as one of like the historic Senate speeches in our lifetime. So, if you guys are bored, I'd suggest watching it. Although, caveat, I'm not a big Susan Collins fan in general, but this was her moment. Let's just say that. Francis has stopped in. How's it going, man? Glad to see you here. You're gonna have to go back and kind of watch from the beginning after we're done here, because I showed some short-barreled AKs that you might be into. And I've already showed a couple of them like twice due to different people coming and going, so I don't want to bore everyone and show them a third time. But like Matteo said, that and Lindsey Graham. Yeah, when Lindsey Graham kind of blew up, if you will, during that committee hearing and just told them all how it is, that was also a very pivotal moment. And Lindsey Graham's another one that I've disagreed with many times. I've not been the biggest Lindsey Graham fan over the past, but Lindsey Graham really stepped up. Susan Collins really stepped up. And Mike Lee, too. They say he was sitting there talking to Jeff Flake because apparently they're good friends. He was talking to him right up minutes before that last vote. Because I don't know how much you guys have been following this, but Flake voted yes. Collins voted yes. Well, that gave Manchin the safety net to vote yes. He only voted yes since he was going to get confirmed anyways, okay? And it's just the politics. Manchin's just doing it to get reelected because West Virginia has like a 90% support right now of Trump and Kavanaugh. And it was literally, if he would have voted no, he would have most likely lost the election. But I think even with all that said, he would have still told the party line if his vote had actually mattered. So don't let the Manchin vote confuse you guys. There's a reason if you watch when Manchin actually voted, both to invoke cloture and also on the final vote, he waited strategically for Jeff Snowflake and for Susan Collins. And literally those two's vote, if one or two of those had differed, you probably would have seen him go the other way. Because Manchin claims to be like a good old boy. I heard an interview. He calls himself a good old boy from West Virginia. He's supposedly like what you call a more conservative Democrat. But here's the facts of the matter. Manchin votes with the Democrats like 99% of the time. Like maybe once or twice a year, he might come over with the Republicans on something just to keep himself in office. So yeah, it literally comes down to Lindsey Graham and Susan Collins. That's the reason why, in the end, that we have no longer Judge Kavanaugh, Justice Kavanaugh. So it's a good day for us, guys. He's not as conservative as I'd like him to be on some issues, but he's been very pro-Second Amendment. He dissented in a couple D.C. bans where he was the dissenting opinion, but he cited Heller in his dissent. So that's a really, really good thing that if another Supreme Court case comes up where they're, with gun rights, there is actually a history of Judge Kavanaugh citing the Heller case. And yeah, I don't think I need to say any more than that. This is really good for our gun rights. Now, if the president could get his ass in gear and call off this stupid bump stock ban, we might be able to start getting somewhere. So, yeah, I think Kavanaugh's a big deal, though. He really is. And they could all prove us wrong, guys. Trust me. I don't trust any of these people, really. But based on past practice, when he was in what they call the second highest court in the land, Judge Kavanaugh has been known to cite Heller. So, if anyone hasn't kept up with it, there's a little debriefing for you guys. I'm a big political junkie, by the way. I literally sit there and tune into like the House of Representatives YouTube channel, and I'll watch like House subcommittee hearings sometimes for fun. Huge political junkie, guys. I love that stuff. Let's see here. Oh, Francis, sorry you couldn't come early. Not a problem. It's cool you're here now, and just head back and watch it later a little bit. And then you can stop when you hit the point where you... I just think you might want to look at some of these short barreled AKs if you're into that kind of stuff. It was something I was kind of excited to show you guys because I think it's kind of cool to mix it up a little bit and not just always have AK-47, AKM, AK-47, AKM. I like some of the cool variants. Oh, let's see here. Matteo, that's why he argued for Trump regardless of the bump stock ban, because conservative judges matter a lot. I agree. I don't want to go off on a big tangent with that. It's tough right now. Trump's putting us in a tough position, guys. He's putting me in a really tough position, okay? Because I want to vote again for Trump so bad, okay? I really want to vote for him again so bad. I like his Supreme Court picks and obviously successful Supreme Court nominations. Gorsuch, strong. Kavanaugh, strong Second Amendment. I like what Trump's doing for the economy. I like that he calls out the fake news. I like what he's doing with his foreign policy so far, ending the Paris Climate Control Accord, whatever it's called, ending the Iran deal, not sending planes of cash. I could go on and on and on, guys. Like, there's so many reasons why I want to vote for Trump again. But here's a big problem I'm having right now. If he bans bump stocks, he becomes a gun banner. And all of this other stuff's like super important to me. But my core political issue is gun rights. Because I believe that, the Second Amendment's basically there to keep them honest with the rest of the amendments, just to put it briefly. I'm actually a believer in that philosophy, okay? So I can't morally vote for a gun banner. So that's my problem. I just told you like 10 reasons why I want to vote for Trump again, okay? And I still want to. And even if he bans the bump stocks, I still might want to. But as of right now, guys, I can't vote for a gun banner, regardless of their political party. Now, don't mistake what I'm saying here. Let's just say Pocahontas, okay? Pocahontas becomes the the nominee from the Democrat Party. And she's a gun banner, of course. So obviously don't think that I'm going to become a Democrat. I can't vote for her either because she's also a gun banner, right? So I'm going to end up in a situation where, like I said, look, guys, I follow politics. I'm a true believer and studier of the Constitution. It's a beautiful document. I've read it many times. Every time I read it, I kind of catch something I didn't before. Even though it's like such a short document, it's still kind of like the more you read it, the more you kind of realize you kind of, I don't know. You guys probably know what I mean, right? So trust me, I'm a big freedom guy, big Constitution guy. I pretty much always vote Republican. If the party system could change a little bit, you might see me voting third party more. I just don't usually vote third party because it's kind of like you throw your vote away and it gives the vote to the Democrats, right? So, but I just have this, again, I have this core fundamental belief that I can't vote for a gun banner. So what's going to happen when Trump bans guns? I don't know. I'm cutting him. I'm going to try to cut him a little slack on the Molot ban. People said that was already in motion before he got elected because of what Obama did with Kalashnikov concern. Then supposedly businesses changed hands in Russia and now made it where Molot fell under the Kalashnikov concern ban. That's the way I understand that. So while I'm not happy that Trump didn't simply unsign Obama's ban, I'm pretty sure that I have it right here that Trump didn't technically ban the Vepers. He just didn't stop them from getting joined in with it's a complicated thing, the Department of Commerce. So that's a little different. I'm trying to cut him slack there. But he literally got on national TV and said, I am going to direct my attorney general, my cuck general basically, to ban the bump stocks. And guess what? Cuck Sessions did. He did as he was told, like a good little bitch boy, and he did it. By the way, where is Jeff Sessions? Jeff Sessions has been literally like hiding in a closet, literally letting the Democrats try to impeach Trump with this super, super partisan coalition of immoral thieves and bandits that Mueller has working for him, right? He's just letting them run all over Trump. And he's his attorney general, right? So Jeff Sessions just sits there and hides in a closet and comes out just to ban the bump stocks, right? I mean, what's a guy like me supposed to think? How am I supposed to vote, okay? There's some really, really compelling arguments. Someone in the chat right now was making some really compelling arguments in Zeke's live stream of why I should still vote for Trump. And here's the kicker, guys. I agree with him on everything he said. I agree with all the reasons to still vote for Trump. But sometimes in life, there's kind of a difference between what you want to do versus what you actually feel you can do. And I've just never been able to vote for a gun banner. When a guy comes in and says, I'm pro-gun, I've got the Second Amendment's back, I have the people of the United States' back, I'm going to give him a fair shake, and I'm going to vote for that guy that's promising gun rights and promising not to ban. But then once they do ban, I don't know, it's really hard for me to even think about voting for them. Let's see here if you guys are interested in this too. Okay, yeah. So Matty was saying he'll be PO'd if the ban goes through, of course, but he'll still get my vote because the alternative isn't even worth considering. I know. And it's weird, man. This is like an argument that I could have with a lot of people where I'm not actually going to argue against any of your points you're making. But the one thing, even though he bans, I'm still going to vote. Now, all your reasons are good. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know if I can do it. That's really all it comes down to. You know, maybe I'll be able to change my mind. I try to be a reasonable person and think. Maybe I'm being emotional, but right now I don't think I can vote for Trump if this bump stock ban goes through. Let's see here. Armed Ape went to bed. If you haven't left yet, good night, man. Like Francis said, yeah, but Trump can remove the sanctions. I know. So I'm not happy with Trump already. But you know what? Bush didn't remove the sanctions. Wasn't really happy with him either. Haven't really been happy with any of these guys, okay? You know, same suit, different tie, right? Is pretty much what it is. You look at these guys, you can't even hardly tell the difference sometimes. But with a lot of things, Trump has been different. And if he really, really wants to be representing the gun world and have, you know, Second Amendment voters back him, he needs to stop listening to the stupid NRA, really. Because as you guys probably already know, this wasn't a Trump idea to ban the bump stocks. The NRA told him to. The NRA put out a press release immediately. The bodies hadn't even cooled off from the shooting. And the NRA was already putting their press release out, saying we'd be totally fine with a bump stock ban. Yeah, you know, whatever. Those guys are, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the NRA, if you guys can't tell. But yeah, Francis, Trump can remove sanctions with a stroke of a pen, just like when Obama said, I've got my pen and I've got my cell phone. If you guys remember that. If Congress won't act, I've got my pen and my cell phone. Well, guess what? Trump's got a pen and a cell phone too. He can call people up within his executive office and tell them, type this up for me. I want it on my desk tomorrow. Probably even today in most cases. And I'm going to sign it with my pen. Yep, Trump could do that. Trump definitely could do that. And I suggest he does start doing a lot more of that. Because none of these people, the best we have is a guy that plays like half-ass defense of our Second Amendment and might, like, let's just say Trump might fend off like 3/4 of the bans, but maybe 1/4 of them he'll let through. And they call it compromise. Bullshit. What's compromise? What? A compromise means like we get something and they get something. When's the last time you guys have actually seen a bill written where, like, okay, we're going to ban bump stocks, but we're going to take, let's just say, SBRs off the registry, remove them from the NFA, silencers, Hearing Protection Act, right, that we all talked about. So a true compromise would literally be this. And if you guys disagree with me, let me know. This is how I would look at a classic example of us compromising, okay? Which, by the way, let me just preface, I don't want to compromise. I want our gun rights back, and I don't want to give up anything. But then the NRA says to Trump, no, we'll compromise, and we'll give them our bump stocks. But what are we getting back, right? Are we getting silencers removed from the NFA? Where there's no longer a tax stamp and you can just buy it at the store? Can we do that? No, I don't see anything like that. That wasn't in Jeff Sessions' memorandum that Trump told him to write. Says, so just don't be fooled, guys. Whenever you see Trump and the NRA saying, well, we're going to compromise, let me know. Email me, pop onto one of my streams and tell me the first time that you see where anybody's actually ever said about us getting one single right back. So, I don't know. I'm just kind of using my understanding of the English language is what I'm trying to say. That a compromise means that we're going to meet in the middle here. Okay? So, I want the NFA completely abolished. Okay? All right. The left wants to ban all guns. That's where we're at. So if I was to truly compromise with the left, and again, I probably wouldn't even do this, but let's just say I was a compromising person. I would say, all right, I'll give you my bump stocks, but why don't you give me machine guns back now? Because I'll tell you guys, that is one compromise I swear to God I'll make. If they remove the Hughes Amendment, the 1986 Hughes Amendment, and allow modern machine guns to be made, I'll give up my bump stock in a second, right? And for those of you that actually know how the bump stock works, and obviously with this crowd, you guys know why I'd instantly do that. The bump stock's a little bit null and void if we could have machine guns again. So, but that is a compromise. So actually I have to come forth with you guys and say I am a compromiser. I'll promise any left person, if they want to compromise with me, I'll give you my bump stock all day long if you remove the ban on post-86 machine guns. Does that sound fair, guys? Let's see what else we got going on here. Yeah, like Mario said, you know, even Reagan was a gun banner. Yeah, back to that whole 86 Firearms Owners Protection Act with the Poison Pill Hughes Amendment. It ended up giving us some pro-gun laws, but the poison pill, I think, was much worse than the actual pro-gun part. So, yep, I would call Reagan a gun banner. I don't think there's really any debate on that. Okay, Warsaw. Jeff Sessions is probably hanging with George Soros. I know, right? Like, what happened to Jeff Sessions? I was actually, believe it or not, guys, like really, really excited when he was going to be the Attorney General. He seemed like a pretty upright senator. You know, he was the senior senator from Alabama, as you guys probably remember. And man, I was excited about Jeff Sessions. I thought Jeff Sessions would have been one of those attorney generals that would kind of like give us some of our gun rights back, right? Because an attorney general can kind of sort of do that. I'll give you guys a really quick example. And this isn't going to happen, okay? But Jeff Sessions could, if he wanted to, he could say to all of his attorneys, right? All of the federal attorneys that work for him. Because as you guys probably already know, he's the chief law enforcement officer of the land. Any federal cops, among all the branches, well, let's call them cops, okay? All the U.S. attorneys, he's all their boss. He sends out a memorandum or directive, they're bound to follow that memorandum. He can literally say, I am directing all federal prosecutors and federal attorneys and all federal law enforcement that you are prohibited from enforcing the 1986 Hughes Amendment. And it might put us in a weird situation, right? Like after he got out of office. But for the time being, by fiat, machine guns would actually kind of become legal again, right? So you'd be breaking the law, but it's not a local issue, okay? Your sheriff and your state cops and your city cops, they can't do anything to you for a machine gun violation. They can just refer you to the feds. But the feds are now bound by a memorandum from Jeff Sessions. So literally, that's how powerful the attorney general is. But it's not going to happen, guys. Jeff Sessions is really, really weak. He doesn't have Trump's back, like I said, with that stupid partisan Mueller investigation. Mueller, I don't give a shit what it is. Sham Mueller, let's just call him that. That sham of an investigation. Jeff Sessions, nope, I'm recusing myself. Literally, like, no one's even seen this dude, okay? Like, no one even knows if he's alive or not. And then he comes out and puts a memo out to direct the ATF to reinterpret their interpretation of the bump stock ban. I mean, like, let's say this. 3 times Obama's Justice Department said it's legal. So, yeah, do I need to say any more? Obama was more pro-bump stock than Trump, right? Okay, that's enough of a rant on that, I think. Let me see if you guys have anything else here that'll get me off on a tangent. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Matteo. He says, well, if you want to get technical, Trump can remove many restrictions have gone through the executive action. Yep, that's what I meant. That Clinton-Norinco ban, you guys want to see, like, true Chinese guns again? We could have those within minutes. That'd be an easy executive order to sign. 7 and 6, boom. Sagas, boom. Vepers. I mean, we're talking like literally, I guarantee you, if he made a couple phone calls, we could have all 4 of those items back by tomorrow morning if he made those calls at midnight tonight. I'm in the same time zone as the White House. It's 12:17 a.m. Guarantee you he could sign those by tomorrow. Because when the president calls people, they literally pick up the phone in the middle of the night. So, yeah. We should all, write the White House or call that number that they have. And I think if we could literally get like a couple 100,000 gun people to call up and say, I demand you, Mr. President, that you will call these people and end this right now. It's really that simple. I mean, this country was only the greatest country in the world for what, like 230 years? And then we had to start all these executive actions against guns in the 90s. At that point, we were 220 years old. So for 224 years, we were just fine. Greatest country in the world, and now we can't even function unless we ban everything. Give me a break. Nobody actually believes that. Literally, nobody believes that. The left doesn't even believe that either. For them, it's not about gun control. Guns inoperable. That's the inoperable word. They're just emphasized on the word control. And then Trump could just give it right back. Chinese ammo, yep. Let's see here. Yeah. Like Matteo said, once Vegas happened, the HPA, which is the Hearing Protection Act, all but done. And then Francis says the total obvious. See, that's the thing with our crowd. Like, it's not that we're the smartest guys in the world. We can just state the obvious, right? So Francis states the obvious, but no suppressors were used, though. And then you know what Matteo just said in the chat? Didn't matter. It didn't matter. You know what, guys? The whole shooting in Las Vegas didn't matter to these people. Now, it matters to me. And any life that's lost in a violent crime matters to me, guys. I appreciate life. I don't want to see any innocent. I don't want to see any innocent person killed by anything. Okay, drunk driver, honeybee sting, shooting. It matters to me. But when it comes to the gun banners, none of it matters. The whole shooting didn't even matter. Just a quick reason, you know. Just a quick reason to be able to try to get more of our guns. And of course, it worked. It's gonna work. Trump's gonna ban these bump stocks here any day now. So yeah. Who said that? One of the people in the Obama administration said, "Never let a good tragedy go to waste." I know that's a quote of somebody. That's about it too. Oh, let's see here. You know what's interesting, guys, too, about that Vegas shooting? I'm finding out now that like a lot of that evidence is like either disappeared or it's under wraps. And a lot of the law enforcement people that were involved, they never actually got to see the guns to confirm whether there was a bump stock on them or not. So I'm not trying to fall into like an Alex Jones conspiracy theory here, but I've been doing some research and I can't find anyone to corroborate the fact that those guns did even have bump stocks on them. And if you want my humble opinion, the cadence of fire doesn't sound like a machine gun, and it actually doesn't sound like a bump stock either. I'm familiar with both, and I'm going to say I don't think it was a machine gun or a bump stock. It was something else, or just a really fast trigger finger. Let's see here. Yeah, they could, you know, Cuck Sessions could clarify or choose to reinterpret the rule concerning home builds. Yeah. Yep. We'd have to come out of the closet first, you know, put his pants back on and come out of the closet. Maddie would like to have Chinese ammo and guns back too. I know. Like when I used to go to Cabela's in the you know, pre-94, early 90s, we're gonna say, when I was a young teenager, and get 1,000 rounds of Norinco 7.62 by 39. Regular price like $80, and then we wait for the sale when it was $59.99, $60 for 1,000 rounds of Norinco, so-called armor piercing, steel core penetrator, we'll call it, ammo. $60 per 1,000 rounds. Now I know it'd be more than that now with inflation, but it's still, you guys get my point. The shooting in Vegas was sketchy, Warsaw Patriot said. Yeah, to say the least. I'd say that's giving it a little bit of credit there. To even call it sketchy is giving it more credit than it might deserve, right? Yeah, so yeah, Warsaw says something interesting here, guys, that I can talk about another night. But the constitutional right to own a firearm, but yet the state restricts my right by owning a darn Ford card. Okay, that's interesting too, because there's the supremacy clause of the Constitution that basically says the United States law is the law of the land and is supreme over the state's laws, where it's specifically enumerated in the Constitution, okay? So with the Bill of Rights being the amendments to, therefore binding parts of the Constitution basically says that none of the amendments, including the Second Amendment in this case, can be infringed on, which also would mean the states due to the supremacy clause of the Constitution, right? So yeah, I think it's illegal. I think it's illegal for states. If you literally read the Constitution, it should be blatantly illegal for states to restrict firearms rights and be more restrictive than the Constitution. Now, in a practical purpose, it's not going to happen because there's been Supreme Court precedents. There's been tons of past practice precedents. And we heard with the Kavanaugh hearings, precedents, right? Once something goes on for years and years, it's darn hard to overturn it. Like literally. Unless you pull like the race card or the gender card, it's going to be hard to, you know, overturn anything. Those are about the only people right now that even have a chance to get stuff overturned. Pro Second Amendment people, we're the last ones that they're going to go against precedents with, what I've noticed. So yeah, and don't confuse what I'm saying, guys. I'm a firm believer in the 10th Amendment, by the way. But that basically says that, you know, the rights enumerated in the Constitution to the federal government, right? But all other rights are given to the state or to the people. So I totally agree with that. I really agree with us having a very small federal constitution, right? that the states can't, again, according to the Constitution, that the states can't override. But I do believe it should be very, very small. And then all the other rights should be to the states. So don't anyone think that I'm not a pro states' rights, guys. I'm really big into states' rights. And I believe the states, and therefore the people, you and I, should be in charge of this government. However, with the very small things that were written in there, namely the Bill of Rights, I don't think any state should even be able to touch the Bill of Rights with a 10-foot pole at all, period. So that's kind of my little tangent on the whole FOID card in Illinois, right? Let's see. The Vegas shooting, it's just not adding up, guys. It's really not. And I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist guy. I just can't add 2 plus 2 and get 4 here. For some reason or another, I'm just not able to do that math. Just something doesn't smell right with it, you know? CIA. Well, CIA is involved in everything. I'm not saying they're always bad guys, but yeah, they tend to kind of have their, you know, hands in the cookie jar on quite a bit. Hopefully they're the good guys in this case. Probably are. I'll try to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm the CIA is okay. Here's the thing with the CIA. The CIA is for foreign affairs, okay, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation is supposed to handle domestic things. But here's where we start to get fine lines where the CIA may know something about this. The CIA doesn't operate here, but I believe they're allowed to share on these wiretaps, where they kind of sort of have a little more domestic knowledge than maybe what some would say they should. I know I'm kind of going down a rabbit hole with that, but I guess basically what I'm trying to say is the CIA is supposed to be do foreign policing in the interest of the United States, or investigating, right, or spying. But I have a feeling that with the Patriot Act and some of the things right now that are in the laws, I have a feeling they might be able to do just about anything. Just a guess, okay? I don't know. I don't know anybody in the CIA to corroborate that. But I'd say the technology's there where even if they're not allowed to legally operate on U.S. soil, let's just say they probably physically could, okay? Oh, let's see here. Yeah, like Matteo 674 says in the chat here, yeah, it was the rallying event to justify stopping any forward progress for gun rights and the cause for further infringements. Yeah, so it stopped progress, which is what I keep talking about, right? I'm tired of us playing defense. I wanna be a progressive, guys, okay? I want to be very progressive in getting our gun rights back. Other than that, I'm not a progressive. But and then it also, furthermore, as he states, is the cause for further infringements. Yep. Yep. It did 2 things. Literally, they killed 2 birds with 1 stone, right? With this tragedy that happened. They now stopped the Hearing Protection Act, the HPA, and they are banning bump stocks. And again, I keep asking you guys, if anyone can come up with how that's a compromise, let me know. What do we get? What do we get? The compromise of we're going to ban one thing and prevent you from getting another. It's no compromise. We haven't compromised in years. Trust me, guys. Trust me. Francis said the Vegas shooting's like the 9/11 of the gun world. Yeah. I kind of chuckle. It's not funny, but it's funny in its own right. Neither events were funny at all. But yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. It's funny in its own way. Yeah, like Matteo said, I guess you got me. You know that's not what I meant, right? But that is kind of funny what you said. He says it's a compromise for the gun banners. They compromised on not getting all the guns. Yeah, of course. So they want everything, right? So it's a compromise that we only let them take some things. To me, that's not a compromise. That's just like basically like the de-escalation of the taking. That's all that is. I wouldn't call like, you know, de-escalation and compromise. I don't think those are synonymous, but I do see where you're going with that. The movie American Made. I've not seen that one. I'm not a big movie guy. I again, like I told you guys, I watch subcommittee hearings instead of a movie. I'm kind of that lame, guys. I really am. I'm kind of a geek when it comes to this stuff. Let's see here. Warsaw Patriot. In the movie 2017, last year, American Made. Okay, that's what you're talking about. The CIA sold millions of illegal Russian AKs to the cartels in Colombia to Pablo Escobar. I'm not familiar with that, but it sounds interesting, I guess. Let's see here. Is this another like Lord of War where it's got some cool guns in it, but it's kind of like so on the accuracy? I don't know. The Lord of War though was kind of cool in its own right. I'm not going to knock that movie. I guess I'm just wrong. Tom Cruise. Okay, so it's a Scientologist flick. I'll watch all my subs are gonna go right because all of my subscribers are Scientologists now out of the blue. Nah, I doubt it. Who cares? If you're a Scientologist, you're so uptight, then you probably don't want to watch this. Yeah, Francis, that's kind of what we're saying. I think you're right. Well, he said, didn't one of the Parkland girls say something about bump stock ban being a compromise, but they want all guns? Yeah. They play on words so much, guys. Like, they make up words. Like assault weapon, like we've said before, that's not a real word. Assault rifle actually is. By definition, you can define assault rifle. Assault weapon, made up word. Compromise, it's not a made up word, but the way they're using it, it's a made up word. Yeah, many of the kids said that. And I want to emphasize kids, okay? Kids. Kids trying to run our government. I'm sorry, but until you're to the age to die for your country or until you've reached a little bit of maturity, I don't really consider you a full citizen anyways. I mean, you're a citizen, of course, with your birthright, but I don't want a bunch of kids voting, and no. I don't want kids deciding, the future of the Constitution, let's put it that way. Because it takes a little level of maturity just to even really understand this stuff. All right, there was a couple little other things I was going to show you guys, but I kind of got off on a few political tangents, so I'm going to hold that till next time. It's getting kind of late. I literally meant to be on here for like, I was going to be on here for like 20 minutes, guys, and it's been an hour and 38 minutes. So if anyone else is going to say anything, just throw it out there because I'm going to be wrapping it up the next couple minutes here. Oh, let's see here. Mr. FNH. Just got back to the computer. It sounds like you've been listening. Good chat so far. Thank you. I appreciate that. A guest. I would like to have a guest. Right now, I'm just using just the streaming portion of YouTube Live where it doesn't actually let me send an invite. But yeah, I wouldn't mind having a guest. I just got to figure out how to do that. I basically went from my cell phone, as you guys can remember, and now I've upgraded myself to this webcam, which I think looks a lot better. So that's a start. And then I was kind of fooling around with Google Hangouts for a minute last night, and I'm going to kind of do a few little test private things with that, just to literally figure out how it works. So yeah, as time goes on here, yeah, I think I would like to do that, Mr. FNH. Let's see here. I'm just checking out the chat here just for a minute, see if you guys had anything else you wanted to throw out there. Yeah, so Mateo 674 says, yeah, that Cameron Kasky is trying to portray himself as being woke, quote unquote, and a middle ground guy, but I see him as dangerous. Yeah. Suspicious, right, to say the least. What's the best way to contact me? Well, right now, the best ways is it's glockshooter79@gmail.com if you want to send me something to look at. With my YouTube channel, you can comment, here in the chat or on one of my videos that's posted. YouTube also has a messenger too. So if you're like on YouTube, let me click here. And you go up like on the right hand side of the screen, it's going to show you like your little logo. And then there's like the bell. And then just to the left of that, there's a thing that says messages. I don't know if you guys have really noticed that. That's a way you can actually message people, an instant messenger, right? And even if I'm not there at the time, I'll get it later too. So I know Mario674 and I have used that every once in a while to say like, what's up? I'm going to be streaming in a little bit type of thing. He's actually the one that told me about it. So if you guys didn't know, I didn't know either until just like a few weeks ago about the YouTube Messenger. Let's see here. Yeah, email too. And if someone wanted to give me like their number to text them or something, do that via email. I don't really want to talk about like numbers and all that on here because, listen, I probably trust all you guys, but who knows who the hell sees this later. So, let's see here. Mr. F&H just gave the stream a thumbs up. Thank you. I had someone talking crap on one of your 1022 videos, complaining about the shooting it off the bench and mounting a type of optic to a 22 long rifle. What's everyone's take? First of all, there's a lot of haters online. That's my take on that, and I wouldn't take them too seriously. But I don't think that's what you're asking. Shooting it off of a bench, why not? If you're trying to, okay, here's the thing. If you're trying to review the actual optic and the accuracy of it with an optic, shoot it on the bench, right? Because you're mainly testing the optic. Now, if you wanted to say, I'm going to test the battlefield usefulness of this 1022 with the optic, and you don't get off the bench, well, then maybe you could make a few arguments, right? But there's different reasons. I mean, bench rest shooting is a whole like sport in and of itself, right? Yeah, so I don't know, 1022s, you know, that's not my thing to really like talk about all night per se. But at the same time, I have a 1022. I've got the 1022 takedown. I think it's pretty cool. I shoot my 1022 once in a while. My daughter likes to shoot it. So no, man, I don't think the 1022 is a bad choice of a gun at all. It's only like one of the most popular and classic rifles in the United States. So I think that kind of says it all there. Yeah, mounting an optic on it, why not? Again. Let's see here. You got to email and send the link once. Okay, once that's done, you can instant message. Yes, Matteo just reminded me of that. Yep. So I guess first you have to have someone's email, and then you have to send them the link, and then you guys can instant message. I forgot about that step. I'm far from an expert on this YouTube. Let's see here. Mr. F&H said the guy was even complaining about his choice of rifle. He's claiming 22 long rifle was shooting small animals. Yeah, obviously it's for shooting small animals along with like maybe 100 other things. So I don't know. Screw that guy, man. Who cares? Matteo said, tell him you're trying to maintain your YouTuber Uber operator status, Mr. FNH. Yeah. Matteo's always got those good one-liners, if you guys haven't noticed. Let's see here. Warsaw Patriot. He's seen people use AKs, Mosins, and SKS rifles for hog hunting. Sure. Mr. FNH, like I said earlier, guys, for anyone that's watching this later, I know everyone that's in here now knows him, but anyone runs across this that's not a subscriber, check out Mr. FNH's channel. I want to give him a shout out. I want to give the Warsaw Patriot channel a shout out. Zeke Shoots, Mel64D. These are all good channels I subscribe to and I like. So if you like the kind of stuff I'm doing here, you probably like these guys. And you'll probably like them more than me. But that's all good. I don't care. You can subscribe to both of us. All of us. Let's see here. Yep, deer hunting and hog hunting with an AK. Why not, right? Yeah, so I'm going to check that out literally in like 2 minutes. So one quick question for you guys, okay? I'm mainly just doing this for fun, but I'm only having fun just because, let me back up. I'm only doing this for fun, but it's mainly fun because you guys are like in here, right, chatting. So It seems like you guys might like it when I kind of show the guns and whatnot. That's cool. I like doing that. Maybe talking about gun rights. If I go off for a few minutes like I have tonight about politics a little bit and knocking on, different administrations and politicians, are you guys kind of into that too? Or is that something that you guys would rather just do without? I mean, obviously that's what I like doing, but I can do that by myself if you guys hate it. So it's just a real quick question, just to see if anybody, like if you're offended, don't get me wrong. I could care less if I offend you. So that's not what I'm asking. I just meant like, do you mind? Do you kind of have a good time talking about it? You know what I'm saying? If you're pro-choice and you're anti-gun and you're pro-open borders and you just hate my political beliefs, sucks to be you, right? But okay, let's see here. Warsaw said he's fine. Francis says it's fine with him. Matteo. Okay, guys. I'll just kind of do what I do. Mr. FNH. What I was saying is in addition to the gun stuff, right? Like politics and guns is a fine line. So I'll go from talking about a gun to the NFA, and then I end up bashing all these executive actions and politicians. So just wondering if you guys mind, the little political rants and tangents I go off on. If you guys are into that kind of stuff. That's what I was asking, Mr. FNH. Let's see. A couple more comments here. Matteo says, I had a guy give me grief about the steel case ammo on my IG. Or wait, what's that an acronym for? I must be having a brain fart. Anyways, and somehow he assumed I use steel case for self-defense ammo. Yeah, you probably use totally different ammo for self-defense. Yeah, like Matteo said down here, truth be told, if you're into guns, you're probably into politics, whether you realize it or not. Mr. FNH, okay, yeah, cool, man. And I know you guys probably like most likely agree with most of the stuff I say. I just like to tie it in because I don't think we're doing our duty as American, patriots and freedom people if we literally sit here and talk about all these guns that we have but we can't have the cool versions and this and that, and then it always leads down that road to where somebody tried to take those rights from us. And if we don't shout it out, even in this little chat here, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like we're doing our job. Like we're supposed to complain about this stuff, I think. I think when they take our rights away, we're supposed to be furious about it. And, that's why I kind of like to go off on these little rants. Because it all ties right in together with all of it. Why I have to have this muzzle device pinned and welded. Why the stock has to be welded shut, right? Like, that shouldn't make any of us happy. So, anyways, I'm going to kind of wrap it up here, guys. Let me see here what we got going on. Yeah, Mr. FNH was shooting off the bench of showcase without a cameraman. Yeah, that's another obvious. It's all good, dude. It's all good, man. Trust me. Okay. Yeah, Matteo, take action or grab a coloring book and some Crayolas. I actually buy a lot of coloring books and crayons. My little girl loves to color. I have a 6-year-old at home, guys, so I'm actually a pretty big purchaser of those items. Let's see here. Warsaw Patriots going to be working on a build next year after we get some dough together for it. Yeah, man, if I can keep doing these streams, if there's a few guys that want to watch them, I can bring some parts kits on here and everything. I'd like to talk about parts kits sometimes and build parts. I'm into that too. It's more Zeke's thing than mine. Like, Zeke's the expert. He's the guy I have to ask, right? But I still think it's cool. And I'm into tinkering and building a little bit. Francis asks, when's my next live stream? I don't know. I probably should. You're supposed to, when you do these, do them on like a scheduled thing. But again, I'm just kind of playing it by ear right now. I'll let you know. I'll try to establish something. I don't want to do it like tonight. I think I accidentally did it at the same time as Zeke, and I'm not all about doing that because we're all the same group of guys. And I think probably about 3/4 of my small group of subs came from Zeke's channel. So trust me, the last thing I'm trying to do is compete with Zeke. So I definitely want to find out what nights he's doing it. Make sure that we're not going to overlap. especially since I'm a somewhat frequent guest on his show. So I'll have to get back to you on that, man. You know, Friday would be cool, Warsaw. I actually, Friday would almost be like a good night for me. We'll have to figure out who's doing those on Fridays. All right, guys, I'm gonna kind of wrap it up here. Just one last look at the chat here, and I'm gonna sign off, guys. It's almost 2 hours. That's why I said, like, I kind of enjoy this, you know. I was literally gonna do 20 minutes just to see how this camera looked, and I get bullshitting with you guys, and it's kind of lose track of time. So Zeke, yeah, Zeke does streams on Saturdays and Sundays and sometimes Fridays. I'll talk to Zeke. Him and I talk throughout the week quite a bit. We'll figure it out. Because I still want to be a guest on his stream again too sometimes. I think that's kind of cool to, you know, join him. All right, we'll think about Fridays, guys. I'll try to post it next time with more notice. This is more of the spur of the moment thing tonight because I was like, I want to test my camera. Then I was like, oh shoot, I'm not gonna. Zeke's streaming. Then it told me on my phone, you know, I went to Zeke's stream has ended. So I'm like, okay, now that Zeke's done, I'm gonna pop on. So, all right, it's getting late, guys. I'm gonna take off and good night. And until next time, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.